Welcome to this presentation on entrepreneurial research. Today I will introduce you to the practices we developed for investigating datafication and algorithmisation in public management. My name is Mirko Schaefer. I'm an associate professor in the research area governing the digital society at Utrecht University and a co-founder of the Utrecht Data School. Utrecht Data School is a teaching platform for digital methods and data analysis in culture studies. And it is a research platform for investigating the impact of datafication and algorithmisation on citizenship and democracy. Our work is guided by three premises. We need to be where social and technological change manifests. That is why we work with municipalities, ministries, public media and organizations whose work affect public space. We want to connect our research to teaching. Our students work with our external partners on applied research projects and witness the impact of data practices firsthand. Most importantly, we want our research to be effective and produce applicable results, inform policy making and provide opportunities for intervention. The imperative of our activities is very well expressed in José van Dijk's notion on the role of humanities in the digital society. Quote, "As our world gets increasingly connected and mediatized, input and expertise from the humanities and social sciences becomes essential to understanding the dynamics, ethics and pragmatics of a datafied society." Quote ends. But as we like to say at the Utrecht Data School, we do not preach in lecture halls, we engage in the field. For that we use entrepreneurial research practices. Let's start with defining entrepreneurial research. We do not refer to academic entrepreneurship here. These are practices that are more frequent in the STEM disciplines, where research results can be commercialized and lead to spin-offs, or where individual researchers utilize their research for entrepreneurial activities. Academic entrepreneurship utilizes research for commercial activity. This is quite different from entrepreneurial research. Entrepreneurial research works the other way around. It uses the commercial activities in order to carry out research. The entrepreneurial quality manifests in two aspects: identifying needs in the sector one wants to investigate and develop appropriate services and tools to respond to that need. Secondly, to utilize the revenue from these tools and services for funding the research activities. This allows us to enter these sectors not merely as researchers, but as experts. We gain privileged access. Our tools and services double as research instruments and allow us to gather information through participatory observation. By doing so, we also create learning opportunities for our students and build strong connections between university and societal sectors. Most importantly, we are able to produce research results that are immediately applied and respond to needs in these societal sectors. Of course, we cannot possibly claim that this is a new practice. Lazarsfeld and his colleagues developed a very similar approach when investigating the impact of unemployment on citizens in a small Austrian town in the early 1930s. Their approach was quite similar. Through a number of activities, they gained the trust of the local population, and with that, access to their homes and insights they would have not been able to collect otherwise. It led to novel formats of collecting data while also providing useful support for the local community. Another inspiration is action research that deliberately includes the application of research results into its methods, and it formulates the improvement of the area under investigation as a key objective. In our case, we have a number of tools and services by now that help us to establish and maintain relations with external partners. We provide our data analysis skills and digital methods for investigating topics relevant for the external partners. Of course, we only take on projects that overlap with our own research interests. We provide impact assessments for data and AI projects concerning ethical issues, and we offer trainings in digital ethical literacies. We more or less have built a non-profit operation around these services, which by now support our data collection and fund our research. Let me introduce one of these tools, the Data Ethics Decision Aid. It is a process that enables data analysts, project managers, and policy or decision makers to review how their data and AI projects raise ethical issues. It originated from our fieldwork within a Dutch municipality. The urgent need for such a review tool guided our development process. On each stage, we involved members from the municipality and tested the different versions in focus groups. On this slide, you can see our early conceptions to the first stable version. After 2 years of first mapping data practices in the municipality and then iteratively developing the ethical reflection tool, we could launch our first stable version in 2018. Since then, DITA became a frequently used process in Dutch government organizations and has seen a number of revisions and changes. DITA makes values explicit. It enables value-sensitive design decisions and documents the deliberative evaluation process. Recently, we published a paper on the process and how DITA is actually doing and how we can compare it to other guidelines for data projects or AI projects. I've put the citation on the slide. Originally, DITA was an A0 sized poster that provided a string of questions on a data or AI project. It was so big enough that people actually would sit around it and they could draw on that poster, they could place post-its to comment their dialogical process or the decisions they made underway. In the top part of the poster, participants discuss all data-related questions, from access to data over what kind of models the algorithm consists of, how data are protected, whether data are representative, whether they're accurate, and whether they're timely, and so forth. In the bottom part, the green part of that poster, they discuss more organizational questions, responsibility issues around communication policies, how to include stakeholders or residents and so forth. And they speak about the ethical questions, whether it should be introduced, what could happen if it would be introduced, what harm could be done, and so forth. The process on the poster is deliberately shaped in a spiral form which stimulates the various participants sitting at the table to take turns in speaking. As it is a dialogical process, it is important that it enables all participants and perspectives to be heard. We would not want the project manager, who might be desperate in getting the project approved, to be taking all the time and all the speaking. DITA brings together the different disciplines and perspectives that are usually needed when developing municipal data projects, but it also works in commercial environments as well. It helps organizations to check how their values are affected by a data project and how they could adapt the design in a value-sensitive way. As the deliberative process is also documented, it constitutes accountability because it would enable critical audiences to inspect said documentation. Because of the COVID regulations, we changed our poster into a remote version, which also allows us now to expand our activities to areas farther away. We also offer impact assessments now to municipalities in Germany. For us, DITA and also the other tools and services that we provide are mostly means for conducting research. They support our collection of data from the field. A DITA workshop for an external partner is also a process of participatory observation, where we gain insight into their data projects, their operational capacities, the ways they respond to data ethical issues, and to gain insight into how they imagine the effects of data practices and AI for their organization and stakeholders. Our forthcoming paper, Public Values and Technological Change, Mapping How Municipalities Grapple with Data Ethics, describes this process of conducting participatory research. To give very briefly an example for the sort of data projects that are reviewed with our Data Ethics Decision Aid, let's consider the efforts to limit poverty in a municipality. Several municipalities try to install data projects that would predict when which citizens might fall under poverty level. A data project tasked with predicting poverty levels in a municipality would then have to ask a number of questions, and DITA would help to guide this process. So it would ask questions about which data are actually used, whose data are these data provided through consent? Is there the possibility to opt out of the collection and the processing of data? Other questions that touch much more upon the responsibility of a municipality, such as speaking to their residents about data practices, would ask about transparency and would consider the consequences of such a project for especially vulnerable resident populations. The data-related questions would inquire into the ways data are collected, stored, accessed, and whether they are deleted and at which time. Also, the process would consider whether the data project is proportional and whether it actually fits to the desired objective. Most importantly, it touches upon the political quality of the data projects. Depending on the parties in the city council, the same data project might turn out to be very different in a liberal municipality or a social democratic one. DITA is now used in over 30 municipalities in the Netherlands and also at a number of other government organizations. It has been licensed to the Association of Dutch Municipalities and to consulting firms working in the public sector. These organizations help municipalities to expand their awareness for data ethics and develop the apt practices. A train-the-trainer workshop provided by the Utrecht Data School allows organizations to develop their own DITA workshop moderators. Unfortunately, we have no idea how many organizations are actually working with DITA, as it is freely available on our website. However, we frequently find references in policy documents. As much as we like our approach of conducting research, there are quite some challenges as well. Firstly, it is very slow, especially in the beginning when building the network and developing your first services and tools to market to the sector you want to investigate, but also later when you have to maintain your network and keep in touch with the societal sectors. On top of all of this, you do two jobs, working with external partners and trying to publish academic papers. For us in the Netherlands, an additional challenge is that our work with the external partners is in Dutch, while all the academic work has to be published in English. We lose time for translation, or we publish less in English, which might lead to marginalization of our work among our peers. And then universities are not yet fully capable of catering to the third revenue stream activities of their researchers. Knowledge of contracts and timely signing, the process of billing, or issues in pricing are not always adequately developed. Most importantly, incentives of working in this way are quite absent in academia. However, we find the opportunities are outweighing the challenges. Our entrepreneurial activities provide us with independent and autonomous funding. We are not stifled by the often dated and strict budgeting of traditional research projects, but can dynamically respond to the needs of a given project. We create astonishing learning opportunities for our students who often find the first employer through the work we do at the Utrecht Data School. It is essential for our research to work in inter- and even transdisciplinary teams, which expands our individual horizons and allow us to accomplish together what none of us could have done on our own. Our research is informed by societal urgency and responds to actual issues in society. So we are not merely investigating the digital society, but taking actively part in shaping it. The longer we do this, we notice how university and societal sectors are increasingly intertwining. Students start their jobs at our external partners and return for further collaboration to work with us again. Employees of partner organizations follow courses at our university, and our researchers are regularly involved in joint projects with these partner organizations. In a way, the quality of academic work is changing and takes place in a much more connected form with the various societal sectors. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you want to have more information about the Data School and the various activities we carry out there, please visit our website dataschool.nl. And if you want to connect to us, please reach out through info@dataschool.nl.